Hey, AJ here, and today we're gonna make some gingerbread cookies. But wait, there's more. They're going to be vegan. They're gonna be gluten-free. Wait, why are you, don't click away. I know you were about to think about doing it because I said vegan and gluten-free, but they're good. They're gonna be actually good. They're gonna be cute. They're gonna be easy. Even me can make them. So let's get into making some vegan, gluten-free gingerbread cookies that are delicious. All right, so the first thing you're gonna need is a bowl, a big old bowl, and we're gonna need some softened butter, 2/3 of a cup. Now I'm using this vegan butter called Miyokos. Could you use Earth Balance? Sure. Could you use coconut oil? Actually don't know. So I would advise using a vegan butter. I'm guessing a coconut oil would work, but no promises, all right? So that's the first thing. You wanna make sure it's softened, so keep it out for like an hour on the table. And this goes into a big bowl. And you're gonna need a hand mixer to get this going because you do wanna kind of whip a little bit of air into it. All right, so first thing is we are going to actually just beat this butter a little bit with the goal of getting it nice and creamy so that when we start adding the sugars, the flax egg, the molasses, it all kind of comes together really well. And if you haven't yet, prepare a flax egg. Flax egg is 1 tablespoon of ground flaxseed, 3 tablespoons of water. If you watched these videos before, anytime I bake something, there's flax eggs in it. So yeah, so you'll have that start to prepare so that it gets nice and gloopy and egg-like so that when you add it, it mixes correctly. So first things first, let's get this butter nice and creamed. So now we're gonna add some sugar and some molasses. So first thing, brown sugar. We're gonna do 3/4 a cup of brown sugar into this big old bowl, nice and packed. Then we're also gonna throw in 2/3 of a cup of molasses, ideally unsulfured, but yeah, and I know that seems like a lot, because it is a lot, because that's what gingerbread cookies be like. They be all about that molasses life. While you're pouring this molasses, you could watch paint dry. That happens a little faster. You could wait for water to boil. You could try to write a song. Any of those things are faster than waiting for the molasses to come out of the little measuring cup. It's a good way to kill time. I was gonna write a sonnet. All right, so we're gonna add the vanilla and a flax egg. Make sure it all gets in there. Sometimes with these flax eggs, because they get kind of sticky like this, they get stuck. So if you need to grab a spoon, that's totally fine. Nobody's gonna judge you, except for the internet. The internet's gonna judge you. Throw a teaspoon of vanilla in. Sick. Now you're gonna beat this on high for 2 full minutes. If that seems excessive, I'm sorry, but that's what's gonna happen. Okay, so you have your wet ingredients mixed. We're gonna put it off to the side. Second bowl. Dry ingredients. We're gonna do all-purpose gluten-free baking flour. We're gonna do 3 cups. Okay, there's our 3.5 cups of all-purpose flour. You're gonna do 1 teaspoon of baking soda. So let's get that in here. Yep, a full tablespoon of ginger. Remember, it's a gingerbread cookie. Ginger is its main deal. So, full tablespoon of ground ginger. All right. A little pinch of salt, full-on tablespoon of cinnamon. I believe in you, cinnamon. I believe in you. You're gonna do a 1/2 teaspoon of allspice, 1/2 teaspoon of ground cloves. Awesome, and so now you've got all your dry ingredients. All right, so we're gonna put this on low, and we're gonna slowly add. We're gonna add 1/3 of this, then another 1/3, and then another 1/3. You don't have to measure it. The idea is that you're just adding it slowly. You don't want to get over excited. Don't get too excited yet. Get excited after you have the gingerbread cookies and you're eating them. All right, so we've got this dough pretty worked. I ended up at the end here just kind of working it with my hands just because it was a little cragglier than I wanted. So you can kind of see what it looks like. It's kind of a ball. It's gonna be a thick dough, and that's normal with gingerbread. It's gonna be thick. So you can see it. Doesn't look super cute yet, but it will, I promise. So what we're gonna wanna do is separate these into kind of 2 little dough balls. And you wanna make kind of like little discs. and this is gonna make it easier for you when you're rolling it out later. And if you're seeing a lot of craggles, keep working it. And don't overwork it because then it becomes gummy, but you do, like, don't be afraid to mess with it a little bit, all right? And so you're gonna wanna make like a little disc, kind of like that. So you want it to kind of look like a little, like a mud pie. That sounds delicious, right? All right, and we're gonna do the same with the other half. We're gonna do a little disc, and then basically I'm gonna throw some plastic wrap on this, and I'm gonna let this dough chill overnight. And it's kind of a necessary step because otherwise you can see it'll craggle too much. So you gotta give this guy some time to get together. And then I'm gonna put them both in this bowl. I'll mush them together a little bit more. I'm gonna put some plastic wrap over this. You could wrap these individually. I'm just gonna put the whole bowl. Plastic wrap, put it in the fridge overnight, and then I'll see you tomorrow when we roll these out and start cutting out some gingerbread men. So I'll see you tomorrow when we get this going. It's tomorrow for me, but for you, it's gonna happen like it's the next day. Oh look, I'm in different clothes, and it's cookie time. So I have my 2 discs of gingerbread cookie. I'm gonna take one of them and roll them out. So first thing you need is just a clear place for you to be able to roll these cookies. This could be a countertop, this could be a work of art, this could be the floor. You just need anything that's flat and large. And then you're gonna grab a little bit of gluten-free flour or regular flour if you be like that. And you're gonna wanna use more than you think. And I know that sounds like a joke, but I'm being for real because this stuff is a little sticky and you're really gonna have to get at it. So we're gonna make a nice little work surface here or on your floor. Get it all over your hands. You want a rolling pin. And if you have those rings for measurements, you probably want the 1/4 inch would be good for these. Don't be afraid of the flour. I know sometimes you're like, oh no, is this ruining the color of the cookie? At least that's how I am, but it's not. You're just, it's gonna like disappear as you bake it off. So we're gonna start rolling this dough. And is it ruined? I have no idea. All right, I wanna show you 2 quick little cookie hacks in the event you end up stuck at some part. So the first one is my dough, cookie dough. My dough actually was kind of dry, but it was kind of dry to the point where if you saw before, it was a little craggly as I was rolling it out. So there's kind of 2 things you can do to help resolve that. You can work it with your hands and see if it comes together. And then the second thing you can do, and this isn't like a one-size-fits-all, but most of the time it works, is you can add a little bit of plant milk, either like a almond milk or oat milk, whatever, as little as a tablespoon, as much as a 1/4 of a cup. If you have to go over on the 1/4 of a cup, you maybe mismeasured something and the whole recipe is off. So that's the first hack. Your second hack is how do you get these cookies off without breaking them? So a lot of people like to take a spatula and just like kind of slide it under. But sometimes what will happen is you'll crumble your gingerbread guy. So the little hack you're gonna wanna do is you take your spatula, you flip it upside down like this. And this works on the stove too. Like if you're cooking something in a frying pan and you don't want it to get, like you don't want to break it. So I'll often do this with pancakes. And you come at it this way, and this way it scrapes it off the bottom without ruining the integrity of the actual food. So like you can see here, all right. So that's how I'm gonna do it. Yeah, so those are the 2 cookie hacks that I would advise you give a go if you need to. And like I said, my dough dried out in the fridge. I think I didn't have it sealed perfectly, and that's why. If you do this recipe correctly, you shouldn't need to do any of these cookie hacks. So I did happen to get 6 of these little guys ready to go. I'm gonna get my first batch of gingerbread men in the oven, 8 to 10 minutes depending on how exactly your oven works, and then you let them chill on the actual baking sheet for 5 minutes before you remove them and put them on a wire rack. So I'll see you guys in, I don't know, a little bit while I finish cutting out all these other cookies, and then we're gonna make icing so that we can put happy little faces on our gingerbread men and women and non-binaries. Cool? Is it cool? All right, I'll see you soon. All right, I just ran back from across the street. I think I ran out of powdered sugar. I could have swore I had some, but anyway, I ran and grabbed it real quick. So we're gonna make a real easy cookie icing for these gingerbread men so we can make them happy, miserable, existentially depressed, well, whatever, right? All different cookies, all different personalities, they're all valuable. So we're gonna put a cup of, maybe we'll do 2 cups of powdered sugar in here. And then you're gonna put slowly up to like 2 tablespoons of plant milk in here. Almond milk, oat milk, whatever. And do it slowly. You're gonna need a lot less than you think, so don't get over greedy. Don't get too excited. Go nice and slow. You may need to add another tablespoon here, add a little bit of sugar, kind of go back and forth. But the idea here is we want an icing that can pour, but kind of like doesn't move, so that we can actually decorate these gingerbread men. So let me grab some plant milk and we'll get this mixing. So I'm gonna eyeball about a tablespoon. Dare I put a second one? No, don't be too aggressive. Gotta take my own advice. Do as I say, not as I do. You can also add vanilla to this. I probably will. That's just for flavor mostly. See this? This is just a titch too thick. I mean, it's like right there. You really could roll with this. I'm gonna add some vanilla extract, and that's gonna help make it just a little bit more thinner, and then I'll throw it in these piping bags I just bought that they happen to have there as well for the holidays, so that's great. All right, so I'm gonna throw this in a piping bag, and then we'll start decorating, and then I'm gonna decorate these cookies, and then I'll have my beautiful fairy wife come taste test these. How exciting! Are you amped? I'm amped! Too amped, I know, I need to bring it down. All right, so we have our gingerbread men, women, and you know, whatever they gender non-conforming done. They look pretty cute. I am a little shaky. I had too much espresso this morning, so they're looking a little derpier than I had envisioned, but I'm hoping, my little fairy wife's gonna come taste it right now. I'm hoping they taste good. What do you think? A little derpy?
Yeah, the decorating is a little...
The decorating is off? Just imagine...
Abstract?
Abstract. It's like Picasso.
Yep.
Besides the derpiness, how do they look?
Smell really good.
Smell good?
Yeah,
okay.
They look great.
Cool. You want to give them a little tasty taste?
I guess so.
Is that
I like them.
Oh, you do? Okay, cool.
It's very flavorful. You can taste all the spices and everything.
Can you?
Mm-hmm.
Okay, cool.
Yeah.
Can you taste the molasses? Because there's a lot of molasses.
I mean, yeah.
Okay, cool. That could be it too, is that the molasses is one of the primary sweeteners in this.
And it's not that sweet.
And it's not as sweet as like sugar. So if you're somebody who doesn't eat a lot of sugar,
it's great.
You love
like
them.
Me. Yeah.
Great like you. Scale of 1 to 10, what are you going to give these little cuties?
I think like an 8.5.
8.5. Ah, what do I have to do to get a 10?
I mean,
What?
We'll decorate them cute. They taste great to me.
They taste great. Okay, well that's the most important thing. They got to taste great. So
And the texture
cool.
is great.
And the texture is good.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, cool. Because
Yeah.
actually, some of it dried out, and I had to fix it. Awesome.
Yeah.
Thank you, sweetie.
You're welcome.
All right. Well, there you have it. An 8.5 from the Eep, which is, you know, in my world, that's like a 12 out of 10. So she's hard to impress, believe it or not. Even though I'm her husband, she's actually hard to impress. So yeah, there you go. Gingerbread people. We did it. If you want to make your own little gingerbread people, maybe you're better with the icing, why don't you follow the recipe in the description below. If you like videos like this, mush a like. And if you never want to miss another one of these fantastic vegan, gluten-free things that aren't bad, they're good, go ahead and hit subscribe. Thank you so much for watching. If you watched all this, I really appreciate you. I hope you have a fantastic rest of your day. I like it.